Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the Privacy Edition, and we will also end the show with a little bit of security and smart, mostly some data leakages and a few smart devices that our world can probably be better without. Can we have an agreement? Let's just stop creating smart devices. We have enough. I think we have enough. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive on into the news. First, Massachusetts. This is we always start in good news and things like that. Good news, updates, stuff like that. Massachusetts is on the verge of becoming the first. Oh, this is reported by The Verge. Oh, they're on the verge. The Verge. Anyway, they might become the first state to ban police use of facial recognition all across the whole state. Very interesting to see where some of these intersectionalities are going, because in some cases we're getting way more dystopian, and in other cases we're getting way less dystopian. And so with that, I think it's interesting watching the move here. It definitely is interesting watching the move and what's going on. So with that, I think that we should keep an eye on this. Of course, Massachusetts is kind of going a little bit kind of more crazy in many other cases. I think they're like absolutely forcing mask rules in like weird ways in weird places. But I don't know, Massachusetts has always been one of those states I just don't really ever want to live in. Very interesting. Verizon has been leaking customers' personal information for days at least. So this is a bug in the chat feature, can show transcripts of other chats. So, you know, all these fun little chats, let's do these. Of course, you got to give them all this detail before you get logged in. Well, it turns out that some of that stuff could kind of leak out. So here you can see examples of people finding chats that belong to other people, which includes some really private information. Oh, look at that guy there, the account numbers and things like that. That looks quite epic indeed. So the leak occurred on Monday. They're now aware of it at least, so hopefully they're doing something about it. So looking into an issue involving our online chat system that assists individuals who are checking on the availability of FiOS services. We believe a small number of users may have had name, phone number, and or a home building or building address from an unrelated individual who had previously used the chat system to enter information. Since the issue was brought to our attention, we've identified and isolated the problem and are working to have it resolved. So hey, if you've checked out with Verizon, the FiOS service is available in your area, or FiOS service is available in your area, then be careful. Particularly, you might have some weirdos showing up. All right, 243 million Brazilians had their health data exposed online. This is the Ministry of Health database. This is why I'm completely against putting all these medical databases. It's amazing, it's a cure. Half these morons don't even know, half these morons will give you your social security number for a cookie if you give them the opportunity. It's all secure. Who is it I was talking to? It's more of a personal story. I want to mention that one. But government agents like, hey, email us for private stuff. Like, no. No. That's the type of stuff we start to see. But now when we get into a case where we're forced to put all our health data onto these online databases, and then stuff like this happens, and there you go, leaks all of the data, leaking it all. There you have it. So passwords, let's see, password to access a highly sensitive Ministry of Health was stored inside a government site's. Yeah, if you've ever worked on a website, I know somebody sent me one recently. I'm in the process of redeveloping it. They sent me their stuff. I'm like, well, what's the login password? Like, we really don't know. So I got in there and looked at the code. Like, oh, there it is. It's hard-coded right into the file. Admin login. There you go. There you have it. All right. Very interesting. So this is why I will resist all forms of massive data collection and storage. It's just not an appropriate thing. All right. Hey, Alexa, order unicorn meat. Confirm. There we have it. So Amazon now lets you text Alexa on an iOS to ask for things instead of using your voice only. That's right. I'm in the middle of class. It's like, oh, I just forgot. I need to order more unicorn meat. Alexa's nowhere around. I'm wearing my Alexa glasses, but I can't just stand up in the middle of class and go, hey, Alexa, order unicorn meat, confirm. I just can't do that. I mean, it's disruptive for the rest of the class, so I can bust out my trusty iPhone, bing, boom, and then Alexa will order unicorn meat, confirm. So yeah, Type with Alexa is available as a new public preview. So they're testing a new feature, the ability to type out Alexa commands instead of having to ask questions or requests by speaking out loud. Type with Alexa is a public preview feature available to iOS Alexa app customers, allowing you to interact with Alexa without using voice, meaning everything that you can currently say to the Alexa, you can now be typed using your Alexa mobile app instead. I would not be using mobile apps for that kind of stuff. It's just the problem with mobile apps, there's so many sensors and location trackers and all sorts of other things that they can get and find, etc. That that otherwise they wouldn't otherwise be able to see or access. And so that's one of the things that we need to keep in mind there. All right. Let's see. You need to opt out of Amazon Sidewalk. So Amazon Sidewalk, if you've not seen this is the mesh network that Amazon is putting together with their Alexas and their Rings, and they even have the Alexa devices to put on your mailbox that will alert you when your mailbox is open, all sorts of weird stuff. And what they're trying to do is build this giant network around. And inside this giant network, what they're trying to do is they're trying to just basically capture a system that can always perpetually keep anybody completely, totally connected. So you probably haven't heard of it. There is a good chance that you or someone else you know has an Amazon Echo or a Ring camera. And if you own one of those devices and live in the US or know someone who does, you need to tell them to opt out of the service as soon as possible. What is Amazon Sidewalk? Well, it was quietly announced late last year. Unless you watch the weekly news roundup, we covered it about the time it was first released. And what it is a secondary, like I said, reported here in the article, is a secondary shared network for certain connected devices. The idea is to use Echo and Ring devices as a bridge to extend connectivity over longer distances. In other words, it's going to use your internet connection to transmit somebody else's data. So some morons walking down the street watching a full streamed HD video on an Amazon Sidewalk, it'll connect to you and eat your data cap and your internet. This is why data caps are completely bad, why Comcast needs to be shut down from forcing all these data caps that they're going to start doing in January across the entire country. The problem is there's too many things that can take your data without having to look into all of the other nuances. Like, it's one thing for me being able to control what's on my network, but what Amazon is trying to do is develop this mesh network that anybody walking down the street, driving down the street, hanging out on your block, connected with their Alexa devices can also bridge off of your internet. So, hey, you're taking your already small data cap and just sharing it with every nearby person who happens to be walking down your street. That's a big fundamental problem in and of itself, but it kind of gets worse than that. So if your internet goes down, your reminders about your Ring security camera are useless. Not an issue with Sidewalk. You can just tap into the neighbor's device. Yeah, and use up their data cap. So yeah, Sidewalk pilfers a small portion of your bandwidth, then gets lumped together with Amazon Alexa devices in your vicinity to create a separate network. So in total, Amazon says that monthly data will borrow is capped at 500 megabytes. That's a terabyte, by the way, or half of a terabyte. So, I'm sorry. Wow, 100 megabytes. No, I'm off. That's wrong. Sorry. No, 500 megabytes, then gigabytes, then there. Okay. So it is fairly small, but nevertheless, I don't want anybody stealing it. And let's see if that cap is actually enforced. There you go. Yeah, I almost had, wow, that was a bad thing. Computer channel, yeah. Hope not bracing your confidence all the way. Anyway, earlier today, I was one of many people who received an email saying that Sidewalk's launch is coming to your Echo device later this year. I knew what Sidewalk was, mainly because I'm a gadget reviewer, recently wrote it up. Let's see if he has more information. I'm not going to read all the article. But you can go into it to disable the feature on your Alexa. You're disabling me. No, I want to order unicorn meat. All right. If you're new around here, this is Alexa the unicorn, by the way. Just FYI. He likes to order his unicorn meat. Chow down. So you go into more settings, account settings, Amazon Sidewalk, and turn all that bleepy bleep stuff off. That I don't say those words in this channel. So there we have it. No, Gizmodo, I'm not going to subscribe. Google, this is terrifying. This is going to be your weekly reminder to watch The Selfish Ledger. Yeah, we're going from monthly to weekly because these guys are getting crazy. Watch The Selfish Ledger. What's going on here is one of the things that seems to come out of The Selfish Ledger. Relive your best memories with a new feature from Google Photos. So the idea is, you guys kind of like what Facebook does. Hey, this date 3 years ago, this cool thing happens. They show you a picture. My dog died today. But they have the thing where they'll kind of pull in some event from 3 years ago on this day, such and such thing happened. You posted this was your status, whatever, right? Well, Google's kind of doing this, and what they're going to do is they're going to, quote, tap into your memory utilizing AI and machine learning and find a photo that matches what it thinks you might want to see and set that as your background. That's right, folks. So down here, we're using machine learning to curate what appears in memories so you don't have to parse through duplicate shots. You can instead reflect on the best ones where the photos have a good quality and all the kids are smiling. We understand that this sounds dystopian. Oh, I'm sorry. We understand that you might not want to revisit all your memories, so you'll be able to hide certain people or time periods, aka the X, okay? And you'll have the option to turn this feature off entirely. But isn't it so nice that they're giving you a brand new feature to parse through your brain cells with machine learning and AI to feed you things you might want to see where everybody's happy and smiling? That's kind of frightening. And it's getting weirder and weirder, isn't it? On to our feature privacy story. Microsoft's creepy new productivity score gamifies workplace surveillance. If you've not seen this, this is a new feature that was rolled out very quietly in Teams right before Thanksgiving. And what it actually does is it adds a whole variety of markers onto all of the various things you could be doing with Teams. How frequently are you checking your email? Do you turn your camera on during meetings or turn them away during meetings so people can't, watch YouTube in it or something? And it basically measures all these things. How much do you at people in emails? How much do you utilize the company blog posts? And they did change some things because some privacy advocates get a hold of this, going, this is creepy because it was all completely tied to your account. So your boss could see, oh, this one's a productive little cog. This one over here needs a stern talking to. It was that specific. So in response to all of this backlash, Microsoft comes out and they say, we're going to take the user account off of this. The machine ID stays, though, by the way. So if you're an IT department, your IT department might know your machine ID. If nothing else, they can get or infer your machine ID. So you're still not completely hidden from that in respects to that. So one way to crystallize just how creepy the scheme is, imagine a person with a stopwatch and a clipboard sitting behind you, meticulous recording how long you spend on each task, completing a dossier on everyone doing the same thing, and then reporting the findings to management. And that is exactly what it was doing. We have a nice tweet here. Wolfie Christie, is it Christie? Crystal. He is a very well-known security or privacy researcher. He says, esoteric matrix based on analyzing extensive data about employee activities has been mostly the domain of fringe software vendors. Now it's built into MS365. So remember, it's trying to push everybody on the Microsoft 365. Well, this is kind of why. They are collecting boatloads of data. Boatloads. More data than this should have possibly be connected. It kind of reminds you of the desktop apps that crappy places like Upwork wants you to install. Use this and we'll determine how active you are. Dude, how do you know I'm being active? Oh, this guy's on the internet. Yeah, how do you know I'm not looking up a code because, you try memorizing absolutely everything about what you're doing. It doesn't work well. All right. New feature to calculate productivity scores turns Microsoft 365 into a full-fledged workplace surveillance tool. Straight from the horse's mouth, this is actually Microsoft's website, posted a couple days ago about the productivity score. It provides metrics to see where you are in your digital transformation journey. I'm sorry, I am not an Autobot, nor am I a Decepticon. I do not need to be anywhere in my digital transformation journey, okay? I just need to get some work done. And then I need to go off and live my life. And Autobots, Decepticons unite, okay? You have now a common foe. I think it's Hydra. They go by the name Microsoft. Insights about the data to help you identify opportunities to improve productivity and satisfaction in your organization. I'm very satisfied when you don't watch. And number 3, recommended actions you can take to help your organization use Microsoft 365 more efficiently. You, little cog, you shape up and use your tools, your surveillance tools more, or you're going to be memory holed. Whole people like forgetting he existed. We provide metrics, insights, and recommendations in 2 areas. People experiences. People experiences. Interesting. Qualifies how the organization works using Microsoft 365 categories like content collaboration, mobility, communication, meetings, and teamwork. It is going to be in a later episode, but yeah, they're even putting a CarPlay app so you can continue on with your meetings while you're driving in your car. For crying out loud. All right, if I ever get one of these cars with an infotainment system, Purpose 1, remove the infotainment system. There you have it. Technology experiences. Your organization depends on reliable and well-performing technology as well as efficient use of the slave driver, Microsoft 365. Endpoint analytics helps you understand how your organization can be impacted by performance and health issues with your hardware and software. Microsoft 365 apps helps you understand whether the devices in your organization are running 365 apps on recommended channels. You use our stuff or you get out. There's no more LibreOffice for you, folks. All right. Let's see. How is the score calculated? Are you ready for the calculations? Let's see. So your productivity score is based on the combined scores of your people and technology experiences. Oh, it's the experiences. What moronic hack comes up with all of these crazy... It's the experiences. We're going to experience it. You should maybe be frolicking down the street with a basket full of flowers. My God. Each category is weighed equally with a total of 100 points. The highest possible productivity score is 800, just like a credit score. Score categories: communications, meetings, content collaborations. I have not seen you reply to the forum yet, little cog. Teamwork. Oh, are you working well together? Mobility. I have not seen you on a meeting in your car in CarPlay. You get with it, boy. Endpoint analytics, network connectivity, Microsoft 365 apps health for a total of 800 points. Wow! I want to be the high scorer in my office building. Products included. Let's see. So productivity scores includes data from Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Outlook, Yammer, and Skype. Great. Organization score is updated daily and reflects user actions completed in the last 28 days. For people experiences data. People experiences data. I don't think that's a typo, people. For people experiences data. Winston, can you change something down here? I think we got something that needs to be scrubbed from the memory holes here. All right, Winston's going to get right on this. You need Microsoft 365 for business or Office 365 for enterprise subscription. Remind me not to get any of those. Endpoint analytics, data for your tenant. You need to add Microsoft Intune to your subscription. Intune helps you protect your organization's data by managing devices and apps. All right. Productivity score is only available on the admin center and can be accessed by IT professionals. You know, the guys who know your machine ID, who have one of the following rules, various admin stuff and global readers. You can interpret your scores. There you have it. Now, what they did do, they got a lot of backlash on this, and so they end up pulling the name, the username off of the data, but everything else is still there. So, the good little cogs in a machine can still do their work. Well, if you want to hide from Microsoft, consider using ExpressVPN. Of course, I am not a person that will tell you, sign up for ExpressVPN. It's going to prevent Facebook from tracking you across the internet. Yeah, I'm talking to you guys like Ben Shapiro and whatever else. Stop saying this stuff, because if you're using a VPN, once you log into Facebook, Facebook knows exactly who you are and exactly what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're on the VPN. Okay, let's get that out of the way. But there are very good and legitimate reasons you need a VPN. If you're out at coffee shops, if you need to change your geolocation, or you need to get around something else in your local ISP, all valid reasons for a VPN. Consider using my affiliate link, tlm.li/EV. And just remember, if you're logged into Facebook, they can still see what you're doing, all right? Your ISP may not be able to do that. So there we have it. Let's jump on over and look at just three articles from Security and Smart. And onto the smart/security type news. We have from WristCam.com. They have a nice new add-on for an Apple Watch, which gives us these nice dystopian cameras. If you can see from the photo here, one of them is a selfie cam, so now you can walk around like this. Yay! I'm vlogging! What looks stupider, this or with the phone? At least with the phone, you know what you're doing. You're doing this. I don't get it, And then it actually has another one down here, which is you can take pictures this way. You know what this is going to do? This is, what do they call them over in Japan? I think like the creeper shots or something, where you you stick your camera in weird spots, you just grab pictures of people when they don't recognize it. Maybe you're getting really close to somebody, stuff like that. And of course, they've thought of this. They didn't think of it well, but they thought of it, So see it, snap it, share it. So it basically goes on to an Apple Watch. It looks like it's a modified band for the Apple Watch. And privacy matters, guys. Bright LEDs next to both cameras will help keep everyone aware when WristCam is capturing with a single pulse for photo and a continuous pulse for video. As if anyone is going to know what the hell this thing is that's blinking on them, okay? There's all these smart tech gadgets running around. I said it earlier. Can we just stop making smart tech? Do we really need a 4K camera on a wristband? I mean, maybe if you're James Bond. But we don't need creepers running around society taking creep shots with this thing. And, privacy matters. Yeah, because I'm going to see that thing from a ways out there. And by the way, this is like magnified 4 times or something insane like that. I mean, think of it. This is the size of the Apple Watch. Which is like this big. It's big. That little dot is like, I mean, really. All right. High tech meets high fashion. Whoa! There's nothing fashionable about this camera. Look at these things. Of course, look at this guy. You can Skype like this. Like, is this an Inspector Gadget watch? Be careful, this wrist will self-destruct. Ah! I mean, really, this is insane. So, yeah, it's more dystopia stuff. Here's some nice photos you can get from it. Yeah, there's the dog. The dog's like, I'm going to bite that thing off. But, there you have it. It's looking good. All right. So there you go. WristCam.com if you want to be the newest and trendiest, or you're just a creeper and you want some creep shots. Either way, whatever. Baltimore students were told to ditch Windows PCs after a ransomware attack. You're like, awesome! The kids were told to ditch PCs. Oh no, they were forced instead to use Google and Chromebooks. Talk about jumping out of the pan and into the fire. I mean, really, But apparently there was a big ransomware attack. Of course, the whole school district is at home, and so everyone got a day off because their whole school was hit with ransomware attacks because, Windows sucks. And so they all get there, and then the school's like, all right, guys, just use your Chromebooks and your Google accounts instead. How much you want to bet the ransomware is going to be like, it's from Google, right? All right, guys, these guys got Windows PCs, and we also gave them some Chromebooks, but we keep noticing they're seeing the Windows PCs. I got it. Let's get the data onto the Google accounts. Let's ransomware their Windows computers and leave our Chromebooks in the fire. I mean, that's how you do it. You wipe out your competition by, you wipe out every option except the one you want them to use. I mean, this is strategy, guys. This is strategy. So all of the students were now forced to go onto their spyware Google accounts and use their Chromebooks because Windows 10 and ransomware, it just goes hand in hand. No, I don't really want to see any of your cookies. All right, it's going to give me another one. Let's reject all. There you go. Thank you, Sky News. Soldiers could one day communicate through brainwaves. This is starting to sound too much like a science fiction novel I wrote. Man, I should have promoted my science fiction novel at the end of this one. Should I do that? I'll go ahead and do that. I was going to talk about Subscribestar again, but I'll talk about my science fiction novel instead. So the algorithm and complex mathematics could change the face of how the military operates. Isn't that exciting? So the idea is to utilize, and I'm not sure it's brain implants as much as special helmets that can cross-sync brain waves, and then it allows the military personnel within a squad to communicate with one another through brainwaves, which is definitely a little out there and a little bit dystopian. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit disturbed about this, particularly with the over-militarization that you get inside of, inside of even police forces. How long before this is in the police force and everybody is a giant bot-like hive mind? You will assimilate, you will assimilate, you will assimilate. Well, brainwaves, so let's go ahead and talk about my book. Let me just go ahead and pull it up real quick. tlm.li/s, and I have a science fiction novel called Synaptergy. And in Synaptergy, we have Mark woke up in the hospital room, unable to remember why he was there, but this was overshadowed by his being paralyzed. Using his robotics education connections, he rebuilt his once functional body. In the process, the team soon discovers the cost for restorative technology. What could be the price to restore bodily functions? Mark needs to determine if he will pay that price. You can head on over to synaptergy.com or tlm.li/s. On the where to buy, these are a list of the places that I know you can pick it up if you can get it directly from our author website or all the way down through a variety of different sources in print book, ebook, and audiobook format. You can read the whole first chapter over here on the website. You can go ahead and read that, or you can listen to the first 5 minutes. Let me just go ahead and allow that once from Privacy Badger. On SoundCloud, you can listen to the first 5 minutes of the book as well. If you want updates when the second book is coming out, go ahead and hit the newsletter button. Sign up to the newsletter. We will have a sequel to the book coming out. And I am just finishing up a book right now, so I'm going to be working on the sequel to this novel. Is one of the next books in my lineup. So head on over to synaptergy.com or tlm.li/s for more information. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.